I wish I could play your sequel, but alas, I'm stuck in this room with no game stores in sight. What the? Ha! You missed! Ah! Come on! God of War was in a rough position before God of War 2018. It even looked like the series wouldn't continue. Sony didn't want to take the risk with the series after the flop of God of War Ascension, and the fan base seemed to be growing tired of the series. The series would need something big if Santa Monica would want to make a sequel. In comes God of War 2018, selling over 15 million copies and breathing new life into the stale franchise. The fan base fell in love with the new combat system and the brand new look for the franchise, along with its amazing story told in a brand new setting left the franchise in a mysterious state for new and returning players. This leads us to God of War Ragnarök, which was teased in God of War 2018 in a secret Easter egg, which was later followed by a teaser in April 2019. But just like God of War 2018, development was rocky for God of War Ragnarök, leading it to end up being delayed in early 2021, which left fans upset. The reason for the delays seemed to be many things. One of the biggest being the C virus halting a lot of the mocap sessions due to safety reasons. If that wasn't bad enough, the main character, Kratos' actor, Christopher Judge, had surgery, which also delayed motion captures even longer. Especially since Santa Monica didn't want to recast Judge because, he's the best. I love you, Christopher! Even with all of these obstacles in the way, the great developers at Santa Monica were able to pull ahead and still work on the game. So let's just take a moment and say thank you to everyone who pushed through that trying time to give us one of the best gaming experiences of 2022. God of War Ragnarök was finally released on November 8th of 2022, but with all of these challenges in their way, how did they handle the sequel to 2018's Game of the Year? God of War Ragnarök is basically the exact same style from God of War 2018. The only difference is the major improvements to the animation, graphics, and some part of the gameplay. God of War Ragnarök has improved on the animation from the last game, allowing them to have the characters express more emotions through their facial features. This is the most notable with Kratos, the god of few words. There were many times throughout my playthrough where I could read his expressions and understand what he was thinking. This helps the storytelling since just like in 2018, they were able to show me things without explaining them to me, allowing these characters to have a lot more depth. The game takes you to new realms, beautifully realized with great detail. Except Niflheim. I don't know, I really don't like the look of this place, in either game to be honest. But other than that, every realm feels unique. Like Vanaheim, it has lush jungles with amazing yet deadly plant life, and the sky just looks amazing. Starfalheim has an interesting look with amazing water physics and geysers that shoot up from the ground, along with terrain that makes it look like it's been ravaged by water and mining. That is until you make it into town where your perspective is changed, as all that surrounds you is small architecture that fits for these dwarves' everyday life. It's pretty funny watching this 7-foot man try to go through these tiny doors. Along with these new location comes new enemies, which look sick. We have these frog-looking monsters. I don't know their name. We have these giant water monsters. I also don't know their names. Oh, we have light elves to fight now. I know their names. God of War Ragnarök sees Bear McCreary making his return as the lead composer for the game, and just like in God of War 2018, he nails it right out of the park. Slow, sentimental music used for touching scenes while using grand big performances for boss fights. This allows the soundtrack to propel the story just as much as the animation. There's a lot that improves the way God of War Ragnarök tells the story, but the most important is the cast. Most of the cast is back, and they nailed the performance just as much as they did in God of War 2018. Christopher Judge reprises his role as Kratos, along with Sonny Suljic reprising his role as Atreus. And man, did this kid grow up. Dang! Sonny definitely feels more grown up in his role, and he blows his last performance out of the water. Yet somehow he is just as annoying, if not more. You are not ready, boy! Also, love you, Chris. Good job again at, best performance of the year and all that. I love you. The God of War is back, baby, and with him comes the familiar and mysterious new changes. God of War Ragnarök is an action RPG with a heavy focus on tight quick combat. With this combat comes skillful blocks and evades. Anyone who has played God of War 2018 will be able to pick up God of War Ragnarok with no problem. The Leviathan Axe makes its return as the main weapon for this game. It is accompanied by the Blades of Chaos, which was obtained halfway through God of War 2018. With these weapons, you will fight your way through an updated enemy roster. Just like in God of War 2018, you will start with light slashes and heavy slashes for your weapons. Although this game being a sequel, you'll get to keep some of your older moves from God of War 2018. However, most of your moves have rusted away due to the magic of Fimbulwinter. You will have to use your XP to upgrade your skill tree to unlock these new moves and upgrade your character. Just like in God of War 2018, you earn XP in multiple ways, either by completing story missions, killing enemies, or completing side quests. God of War Ragnarok has improved the enemy types from its predecessor. Draugrs make their return as the main enemy in Midgard. In Startleheim, there are these weird lizard frog enemies that love to either spit poison or use speed to try to swarm around you. Alfheim has now been taken over by the Light Elves, and let's just say they are not happy about your return. They use the light of Alfheim to attack you with more grounded attacks. Dark Elves also make their return to this realm as well. Every enemy has a strength and a weakness. It will be up to you to use your wit to outsmart the creatures throughout the realms. Thankfully for you, the runic attacks from God of War 2018 also make their comeback. For those of you who have either forgot or haven't seen these before, runic attacks are like your special move. Every weapon will receive two different types of runic attacks, light runic attacks and heavy runic attacks. There are a bunch of these runics hidden throughout the 9 realms. You will also have access to your Spartan Rage. Spartan Rage has lost its skill tree, meaning a lot of your moves from God of War 2018 are now unlocked at the beginning of your playthrough. Just like in God of War 2018, Spartan Rage works like your ultimate move. You will have a rage meter that can be filled up by dealing damage or receiving damage. Once it's full, you can activate it, allowing you to deal tons of damage very quickly while gaining health with every hit. So that's everything that God of War Ragnarok brings back. It has a lot to add, my favorite being the new charge mechanic. This allows you to charge up your axe or blades to deal more damage on your next attack. This mechanic opens up a lot more for your combat possibility. Along with this comes the death from above move. This is an attack that can only be done if you are jumping off a ledge. Once you leap, you can press your attack button, landing a crazy hit on the ground below. Each weapon has its own skill tree with a bunch of new moves to upgrade and unlock. But just like your Spartan Rage, your shield has lost its skill tree as well. Shields have now been changed to an item just like your axe. It can be upgraded by the dwarves, but you can also find brand new shields with new abilities like the Stonewall shield. This shield absorbs attacks that then can be shot back at your enemies. Speaking of shield combat, there are 4 different attacks your enemies can attack you with. A normal attack, which is shown with no visual and can be blocked with your shield. Yellow ring attacks, depending on your shield, will break your guard. This will leave you open to enemy attacks. Red ring moves will deal damage through your shield and can only be dodged if you evade out of its way. But there is a brand new move for God of War Ragnarok. Blue ring attacks are just like red ring moves, except blue ring attacks can be disrupted if you perform a shield strike move, which is done by double tapping L1 twice. Your shield is not the only way to defend yourself. Brock and Sindri make their return as your shop in this game, selling you all sorts of goods from resurrection stones to upgrades for your weapons. But what we are interested in right now is the armor supply. Buying armor allows you to customize your stats, like strength, defense, and runic power, although these armors don't come with enchantment sockets anymore. You see, in God of War Ragnarok, the enchantments no longer go in your armor, they will go in the Jewel of Yggdrasil, a new item that is given to you throughout your playthrough. A lot of these enchantments are rewards for you completing side quests. And just like in God of War 2018, these side quests will build on the story of the 9 realms. While you are out completing the side quests, you can also find Nornir chests. Nornir chests hold apples and blood mead. Apples will upgrade your overall HP, while blood mead will upgrade your rage meter. There's so much more for God of War Ragnarok's gameplay, but a lot of the brand new gameplay elements are tied directly to God of War's story, which will lead to a lot of spoilers, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm just gonna leave it here. Speaking of story, let's dive into God of War Ragnarok's plot. Winter falls on Midgard as a man and his boy are out on a hunt. These two had completed their journey to spread a mother's ashes on the highest peak in the 9 realms, but this journey came with a price. The two have now put themselves in the gods' crosshairs while making enemies with a former ally. This winter is like no other, a winter that never ends and symbols an end to all the realms. This winter is known as Fimbulwinter, the first step to Ragnarok. The man and his boy train in order to be ready for any unwanted guests that may come their way. But right now, it's time to head home with their game. This road home is dangerous, and they soon find the Witch of the Woods on their path. This is no witch, however. This is the goddess Freya, mother of Balder, a god who tried to end our hero's journey. Freya wants revenge on the man and his boy for taking everything from her. A battle begins. Well, if you could even call it that. The man refuses to fight her, focusing on deflecting her strikes as they keep moving with the help of their sled dogs. She keeps up the chase, but the man and his boy make their way behind a magical barrier that keeps them safe from harm, meaning they're safe for now. After returning home, the two are met with some sorrow news as their good boys have fallen ill. With little time left, the boy says goodbye to his close ally. After the wolf has passed, the man tells the boy it's time to train, but the boy meets this with some resistance and refuses as he leaves to bury the wolf. The man leaves the boy to his matters while he goes to grab some rest. A dream wakes the man and he realizes the boy has not returned. The man grabs his axe that was forged from the dwarves along with his counseling head, and they head out to find the boy. They find a trail of blood and footprints that lead them to a camp full of raiders. With the presence of these raiders, the man finds out the magical barrier has been destroyed. After fighting his way through the camp, the man has still not seen the boy anywhere, when suddenly a bear jumps at the man. A fight ensues between the bear and the man, but this is no man. This is a god of war. Even with his strength, this bear seems stronger than any other bear. The god still comes out on top, and right before he ends the bear, it morphs into the boy. You see, the boy is also a god, and may have just found a new power. The two head home to fix the barrier before anyone else can get through. After fixing the barrier, the god and his boy make their way into their home for rest. However, this rest is cut short with the arrival of an interesting looking individual. It's the god of thunder himself, here to offer the god a drink and to talk about some matters. The god allows Thor into his home but keeps his guard up. As they settle into their seats, there's a knock on the door. The boy goes to open it, and in the frame is the All-Father himself. The All-Father is here to offer the god a truce. All the god needs to do is stop his search for Tyr, the god of war for the 9 realms. But knowing that the will of the gods are never good, he refuses the truce. The All-Father whispers something to Thor and heads outside. That's when Thor launches the god right into the sky and a fight ensues between the two of them. That's all for today, boys.
Ooh!
Give us more! Ha! We must rest and be ready for tomorrow's raid. Don't want to be unprepared. Who knows what might be waiting for us? Maybe a tree branch might try to kill us. It was one time, okay? God of War Ragnarök is an amazing game that is 100% worth a playthrough, but something feels like it's missing here. The combat is better than the predecessor, the animation and music is on the same level of God of War 2018, and some could argue it's even better. The actor's performance is absolutely perfect, and everyone feels more comfortable in their roles in this game. So, what could it be? Well, I believe, for me at least, it's the story. God of War Ragnarök tells an amazing story, but it feels bigger than 2018. Now that might sound weird. Wouldn't a bigger story be better? Well, you know the saying, bigger isn't always better. God of War 2018 had a simple yet extremely touching plot that was easy to digest while tugging on the heartstrings of many who played it. God of War Ragnarök, however, is much bigger and more complicated, making it feel out of touch with its core plot. At the end of the day, the God of War Ragnarök story is all about a boy growing up and his father having to deal with the changes in his life. To be honest, this is just a story about a son going off to college. And it shines when we are just focusing on Kratos and Atreus. But when we start focusing on the whole End of the Realm story with Ragnarök, it starts to lose the focus on what makes the story so great. It doesn't help that there are like 3 major plots happening at the same time throughout the game, but I think that is my only problem with God of War Ragnarök. I just had to bring it up here because it's been bugging me ever since I finished my first playthrough. Okay, with that out of the way, let's start talking about just how good of a sequel this game truly is. From every side of this game, it is just a picture-perfect sequel. With improvement from gameplay, graphics, music, and the UI, this game is an absolute masterpiece. And it is worth the full price tag of $79.99. Yes, I know that's a lot, but trust me, this game is huge at 100 gigabytes. And a ton of playtime just for the normal story, not even counting the side quests. You could put in 100 hours to this game easily. So, it is my opinion that you should 100% get God of War Ragnarok. Thank you all for watching this What Is episode. I love making What Is, and I cannot wait for this next month. I'm going to try to get a Ghost of Tsushima What Is video out, and I've never played that game before, so wish me luck. But thank you all so much for watching this episode of What Is. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you guys can get notified anytime I go live or post a video. We are almost up to 200 subscribers, so let's just cross that line while we're at it. How about, huh? You all can't see it, but I'm waving you all goodbye, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you guys.